I shared a video of Maya, the singer, to my Facebook page, and she's walking through a crowd and she has on a red dress. And my caption was, "No husband, no kids, fine as fuck." No one's going to argue that Maya is fine, right? No one's going to argue that she's attractive, that she's pretty, that she's beautiful, right? And so, this is why I say beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is not subjective. We only say those things to people who are not conventionally attractive. We say it to women when we don't want to hurt their feelings, right? They are just people that we know upon looking at them that they are visually appealing. And people will say, the beauty standard is Eurocentric standards, which, I mean, okay, but Maya doesn't look like a white woman, right? Nia Long doesn't look like a white woman, right? So, pretty is just pretty. Attractive is just attractive. We always try to find ways to reduce, minimize, discredit what we call beauty, what we call attractiveness, because it's not something you work for. Right now, a woman can adorn herself and become better looking, but some people are just pretty no matter what they do. Makeup, no makeup, right? And that's the person with the power. Beauty is currency, beauty is power. Don't allow anyone to tell you any different, right? I've been attractive all my life, right? Of course, I've gotten better with age and money and things that I have access to, but I was born with my features. And for as long as I can remember, people would try to make me feel as though I don't have currency. Why? Because that is how women compete. That is what gives men social currency, right? Having access to certain kinds of women, right? So if you are attractive, if you're pretty, if you're beautiful, if you're gorgeous, which people throw those descriptions around, everyone's not gorgeous. Most people are not gorgeous, right? But women say it to each other because we want everyone to feel good. But when you are dealing in glamours, you have to tell the truth, because with the truth, you're able to bend and shape reality. So when it comes to appearance, attractiveness, beauty, all of these things, we are being judged by. As much as humans want to evolve, as much as humans claim that it's shallow, it's what people respond to, whether we like it or not. And the positive responses go to what's visually appealing, and the negative responses goes to what's not visually appealing. Humans have always been this way, and humans will always be this way. Attractive women, pretty women, gorgeous women will always be the preference, right? Attractive men of power, men of means, will always be the preference to women, right? Humans choose what they have access to. I can guarantee you, most men, if they can choose better women than they're with, they would choose better. Better meaning visually appealing, right? Men are not following women on Instagram because they don't like them. Now, they'll say things like, oh, they're only for sex, so it's only a fantasy. You don't fantasize about the women that you do have access to? Why the women that you wish you can be with, that you fantasize about, even if it's just for sex, why don't they look like the women that you do have access to? It's all a bunch of bullshit, right? And so I've been studying humans for a very long time, and I study how they respond to me. I study how, they try to exclude me, how they try to humble me, how women compete against me, how men will try to give me low self-esteem by the things they say, things they don't say to me. Humans are always going to respond to what entices them, to what excites them. The more control you have over yourself, the less you will express it openly, but you're always going to respond to what's appealing to you, even when your reality is not what's appealing, right? An attractive woman can be in a work environment and remain entry level for her entire career, and no one will bat an eye. And she will still be chosen by the most powerful man in the work environment. Why? Because she has her currency. She has a currency she was born with. The reality is all women are not pretty. All women are not gorgeous. Like, women like to tell each other that because it feels good. But if you are going to practice glamour magic, if you are going to create a reality, you have to be honest about what is. Now, a man can be in that same work environment, and if he remains entry level for his entire career, he will be looked down on. And he will not be able to gain access to the prettiest woman. Because women, what we deem attractive in men, we are visual and we like good looking men. But we'll overlook looks if a man has status, power, resources, money. We all know these things, right? Women are naturally hypergamous. So we can give the ugly guy a chance if he is powerful, if he has resources, if he can change our lives, right? Women's currency is beauty. Men's currency is money and resources and status. Now, the woman who is not so pretty, is average or unattractive, she won't be seen as much as the attractive woman. So she will want to make strides to elevate in the workplace so that she can be seen. She's a woman there, yes, but the pretty woman, the attractive woman, the gorgeous woman will always have eyes on her. She will always be thought of, right? The unattractive woman doesn't have that same access. So she has to do things to make herself the focal point. I just use the workplace because most of us work, right? And it's easier to understand, to conceptualize. But that's just in life. It's not fair. Life isn't fair, right? The pretty girl can go outside and she'll be the preference. The girl that's not so pretty or just average, she will still be wanted, but she probably won't be the preference. Now, again, this is not to insult women. This is not to be mean. This is for women who want to understand glamour, how it works, and make it work for them. How to bend reality to make it work for them. Take that same attractive woman in the entry-level position, put her in a space that is higher than where she was. She's still going to be favored more because now people view her as competent, right? So women as a whole can be dumb and still get on in life, right? But when you're attractive and when you show intelligence with that attractiveness, people gravitate to you more. You become the package, right? See, these are things that I see in real time. And one day I will discuss, how do I know all these things, right? I am the subject of my study a lot of times. And it's not just me looking out at women. It's me watching me and how I affect people and why I affect people in the ways that I do. Right? Now, I spoke about this before. Men and women respond to me in the same multiple of ways. It's always the same thing. No matter how mastered a person is, ascended a person is, they all are responding from their carnal nature, from their primal. So women are competing with me, and men are for the most part, looking to experience me. Right? And when they feel like they can't experience me, or they want to, not or, they want to experience me, but they want to keep me in a space where where I don't view them as every other man they think is approaching me, right? Because people have this idea that a bunch of men are approaching me and I have a bunch of men in my phone, and men are just waiting to pay my bills. And I've never had experiences like that. I've never had a man that I wasn't in a relationship with pay any bill for me. I've never had any of that. I've never been proposed to multiple times by multiple different men. All of those stories women have, I don't have those. But people assume that because I'm attractive, right? And so men, they either try to make me feel like I'm not what I am, or they just totally act like simps, right? But based on the men that I attract that would have courage to approach me, they try to make me feel like I'm not what I am. Even if it's not to the point of humility, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's no big deal. She's just another pretty girl, which I know. So I had a conversation with someone, and I was explaining to the person that women are always in competition. When it comes to women they feel threatened by, right? So I met someone, and we know someone in common. And as soon as I met this person, she just started mentioning this person's name. She wanted me to know that she knew this person on a deeper level, that she knew him outside of how we know the person. That's her competing with me. That's her letting me know that I was here first. These are the things that women do. Why do they do it? They only do it to women they think are a threat. See, she looked at me and she probably assumed, like many women do, and men, that all men want me and all men are chasing me. Right? And so she feels a threat there. She feels some type of competition. So she's letting me know I already knew this person, which I don't give a fuck. Right? But women are always in competition with me. Women are always in competition with beauty. Women want to be pretty. They want to be the most desired. They're just lying when they say they don't. You have to be honest about what it is you desire. When you are talking about magic, you can't lie to yourself about what your feelings are. You can't lie about what you truly desire. Right? Even if you think you can't have it, you still have to be honest about what it is so that you can see what you are creating. Right? Women lie a lot. That's why what they create is never the results that they want. They're never successful. They get results. We all get results for what we do, but they're never successful because women don't tell the truth. Women don't tell the truth about how important beauty is to them. They just find ways to reduce and minimize it if they don't have the currency. So people will say, looks ain't everything, looks fade, makeup is why you're pretty, you have your titties out. Everyone will try to find a way to make what's visually appealing to them not a big deal because they don't like the control it has over them. Right? Now, looks aren't everything, but it's most things. Right? Looks get you in the door, but everything else keeps you there. But if you're pretty and you ain't got shit else, men will keep you around if you're pretty. The truth is, pretty women don't really have to do much. Right? Going back to the example I used about the pretty woman in the workplace who never has to elevate out of an entry-level position. She can be plucked out of one place and put into another place just because she's pretty. That doesn't really happen for the unattractive woman. That doesn't happen for the average woman. It's so many average women. Most women are average. So if you take the prettiest girl and put her somewhere, people are going to subconsciously understand. Men are going to understand it and they're going to enjoy it if they get to have access to her. Women are going to hate her because she is clearly what people want to see, what people want around. Right? Again, Most men are with women that they wouldn't be with if they could do better. Right? But people want to be made comfortable in the decisions they make, right? In the decisions that are made for them. Because the fact is, most people are average and most people won't have access to super beautiful women. Most women won't have access to rich, powerful men with resources. Right? That's just the way that it is. Right? Try again next lifetime. But just because you may not have access to the best, that doesn't mean you can't make the best out of your life. Right? This is where people get stuck. Wanting things that are not necessarily for you. Understanding what you are working with and work with it and make that the best. Right? You can create anything, but where we have to start with is, what are we working with now? What can my results be now with what I have? How can I be successful now with what I have? And then we can start talking about bigger and better, right? Men understand this and women understand this, right? Men know that they got to make more money, be more powerful, and to get the best women. Right now in their life, they don't have access to that. Women know that they have to be pretty, sexy, all these things that the man that they want. When you are making conscious, intentional decisions, people cannot shame you because you are creating exactly what you want. Which is why I question, why are women explaining to men why they don't want to be married or why they don't want children? Why are you explaining this to men you would not even give access to? Right? Are you truly happy being single? Or you want to find answers for why you are single? That's why you're explaining yourself to people. I don't explain my decisions to anyone. I don't explain my results, my successes to anyone. Because it's not their business. It's not even their concern. They're not even concerned. A lot of times people are asking you about your marital status and children and stuff because they want to make you feel bad for not doing what they did. Right? So I don't explain myself to anyone, especially to men. If I wanted to make a different decision, they wouldn't be a part of the pool of men that I would want to choose from. Right? Most of the men online, I wouldn't even look in their direction. Most of the men online, their women are nothing that I would even aspire to. Many of you don't aspire to look like a lot of the wives of these guys online, tormenting women about not being married or being single or having failed relationships, and they're married. I have yet to see an average man that I see in real life, right, have a woman that I'm like blown away by. I have never seen that. Never. And mind you, these are the same men who, when me and my ex broke up, they thought it was their turn. Knowing what they have access to. Knowing what those women look like. And this is what I mean when I say create what you desire with truth. Knowing where you are now. Right? You have to accept what is in order to create other and better. I study human behavior. I study how people respond to me. I study the effect that I have on people, men and women. Right? I'm very, very good at what I do. And this is why I don't allow people to make me feel like my beauty is not currency and it's not as effective as it is on people. I don't allow people to make me feel like I don't know what I'm talking about or what I see isn't real. I'm around average men and women all the time, right? Most people are average. Right? I'm not sitting up being, I'm not put up by a man. I work for my money, right? And I'm around most people who work for their money, which is most average people. Most people are not coupled off with someone that's super gorgeous. This is why men have go to the internet to look for women that they would not normally have access to in real life. Again, men will say, oh, these women are just for fantasy. You don't fantasize about the woman that you chose to give birth to your children. You don't fantasize about the woman that you're sharing your life with. You have to go on the internet and look for a woman that looks totally different from her. It's all bullshit. It's what they say to women to make women feel good. You are better than her because I chose you to marry. It's all bullshit. Because I can guarantee if they can find a woman whose body was perfect, body T, she's intelligent, she wanted to be a mother, she wanted to be everything a man wanted, he would choose that woman over the one he has now. But most men are average, and they're not in proximity to women who have all that going on. They're in proximity to regular, average women who they can have access to. And they fantasize about the ones they cannot have access to. Women do it too. Women fantasize about men that they can't have. Right? So I understand all of this. I know what men have access to. I look at who men have slept with and who they've been in relationship with. It's nothing to aspire to. Right? And I know that if people could do better, they would do better. Right? So all of this is all encompassing of glamour magic. Seeing what is and making and bending reality for it to benefit you. But you have to be honest about what is. So with any currency that someone has that others may not have, right? Whether it be beauty, money, resources, clout, power, status, it makes those who don't have it envious. Beauty is no different. It makes women uneasy, right? Because again, all women are not beautiful. Like, that's a truth that all women are not beautiful. Right? Men envy or even hate women that are beautiful that they know they don't have access to. So they try to make it seem like they don't want access. Oh, I like my wife. Someone said that to me in my comments once. Oh no, I'll pass. I like my wife. As if he had an opportunity with me. As if there was any question. Right? Men do it with other men that they know are attractive. Right? Anytime a woman says she would rather attract an attractive man, men try to make it seem like those men are not powerful, like they're not strong, or you'd rather a pretty boy. Right? So men do this with other men too, but beauty is a woman's currency. Women will want to end you because they think other men want you. Right? I see this in real time with women. Right? This is not something to play with. And I had to learn all of this and come to terms with it because it's a form of protection for me. A lot of times women are getting close to me because they want to figure me out, because they want to mimic me. They want to be what they think men want. That's why a lot of times women come to me, they want to learn how to be a femme fatale because that's how they view me. Nothing in my content or my work ever says anything about me being a femme fatale. But they look at me and they assume that that's what I am, and that's what they come to learn from me. Right? This is what I teach, the skill of thinking. Why do you think people say guard your mind? This is how you create. Right? Beauty it's most things. It matters. Appearance matters. Again, don't let people fool you. It matters. But this is how you're going to bend the rules. Right? Observing, accepting what is, and creating what you desire from it. I had a Facebook page about 2 years ago, and every so often I will post a thirst trap. And you had to see how the women responded. Right? So women are okay with my talking points. They'll deal with me being pretty, right? Because my content is not geared towards getting men. It's about empowering self. So even if Even if they're triggered by how I look, it's easier for them to digest what I'm saying because it takes the focus off of looks and puts the focus on the inner work. But when I post thirst traps, it reminds them that she's beautiful and sexy. And so women say things like, oh, you don't have to post that. Oh, you don't have to do that. I know I don't have to, but I have it. So why not do it? I remember a woman said to me, be careful because something might happen to your face. Right? So when I show up very feminine presenting or sexy or something, that's alluring to what they think men want, and I don't speak, women instantly become defensive. Men are no different. Men are okay with me sitting pretty and them being able to consume my beauty and energy. But when I start showing my intelligence, that's when I start becoming off-putting to men. When I start telling the truth. When I start saying things that don't feel good to them. Right? So it's the opposite for men and women. Right? Humans are not really that complex. All you have to do is study how you affect people, and you can create a desirable reality. This is why telling you how I do things won't matter, because we don't have the same looks, we don't have the same energy, we don't have the same effect on people. So my results and successes are not going to be the same as yours. This is why I teach Glamour Magic, and I bring women into into an offline space so that we can talk in person about their glamours and what it means for them. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Women would like that, but we're not all working with the same thing. And that's okay, because you can create what works for you, right? And you become a master at it. Study how people respond to you. Study the effect you have on people. That's the secret. And not allowing people to convince you of other. See, I know how men respond to me. I know how women respond to me. I know what it's like to be a woman who is always targeted by women because they think all men want me. They think we're competition. And it's so funny to watch women who think we're in competition. Like that's the funniest thing ever. Right? For many reasons, which I won't get into. Right? I know that if men could get better women, they would. Men just know they have to settle because they are not in the space to get the kinds of women they actually want. And so they talk shit about those women, right? Men will say something about this video. You put your titties away and you should cover up. They say these things to me. Why? You ain't never going to have access to me. Why? Is it that you'll never have a woman that will want to sit in your presence looking like this? You'll never have a woman that's comfortable in her skin, right? So, again, I understand all of this. I understand why people do what they do, and it varies depending on looks. It's just the way that it is. You can bend things to make it work for you, but humans are what they are. Humans are carnal, they're primal, they're animals. Even those who are ascended, even the most ascended man is still going to look at and be attracted to what's attractive to him. He may not act on it, but it will get his attention. And what do you do with attention? You pay it, right? Don't let these men fool you. They're looking at certain women for a reason. They're fantasizing about those certain women for a reason. Right? He love his wife and she's the best thing smoking and all this, but why can't you fantasize about somebody that looks like her? Right? And don't let women fool you. A lot of women are with men that if they could get better, they would. Right? So it's all about studying what is, accepting the truth about what is.